too?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, you're dealing with teams that were competing for championships and were playing at a high level, and that was an annual thing, and there's a lot of familiarity because you face them every year. This is different. This is a non-conference game that we don't face every year.
Watching them against the film that they had against Wisconsin, watching a little bit of that, it seemed like their running game got going. Mm-hmm. And Wisconsin's usually pretty stout defensive team. How are they able to do that?
Well, they've got good speed at tailback, and they give you a lot of different looks, a lot of different formations, and they definitely do a good job of disguising things, and forces you to be sound and disciplined on defense. And I thought that's what they did, to execute and take advantage of Wisconsin.
Before practice last night, you always have the team meeting before every practice. Did you talk about Jeff's absence, or is that something? Have you talked with the team about that, or is that something you bring up, or is it just something you just let sit there?
Yeah, I mean, with our leadership group, we've talked to them, and Jeff's on that, and
right.
It's no different than any injury went to a starter. The next guy in has to play well and help the football team, and that's why we talk about a program, building a program. That it isn't all about one individual. We've got to build our program from the ground up, and not just rely on one individual. And that's why you got to be sound in all your areas. You got to have depth, and you got to have quality players at all the positions. So when you do face injuries, you have the ability to still compete and win games.
I understand that, but the quarterback is a little bit different of a position than anywhere else.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But have you been through this before, where you've had a starting quarterback that you were really keen on, and then another guy come in, and how'd that fare for you?
Yeah, I mean, we have, and I have personally, not here, but where you lost a quarterback, and some guys had to step up and play, and it just, again, they got to. There's not a whole lot you can do other than you just keep practicing and get better, and we got a good football team, and we're going to keep getting better, and that's all I can say.
One last question about the Idaho State game. Was there one group that played the best? It looked to me like your offensive line had maybe its best game in the 4 years you've been here.
Yeah, what I liked about what they did is that we went in with so much unknown what they were going to do in the front, and they adapted and they picked things up and blocked very well. I was more impressed with how they assignment-wise, they handled themselves than anything, and I thought that was a great sign for our guys.
As far as Leonard Williams is concerned, he had a nice game on Saturday. Then my understanding was he kind of came out toward the end. Could you update us on his status?
Yeah, he's fine. I know he went down in the game, if that's what you're talking about. He then got kicked in the stomach and lost his wind. So he's fine, and he's back at practice, ready to go. So, Leonard needs to just keep working. He's got a lot of ability. We've always known that. Hopefully he keeps playing himself into more and more playing time. And the ability is there for that to happen. He just now has to go do it.
Paul, in what ways is Marshall better equipped now to deal with his being able to start than he was in the past?
Well, when he played a lot before, he literally had very, very little help around him, and now he's got 10 other guys that are capable and have some experience and can execute at a higher level. And in the meantime, Marshall is more comfortable with our offense, and he's practiced it a lot, so he's just more comfortable with it, and then the 10 guys around him are. And so, that's why, he's going to play at a higher level than he has, and he should. He's a fifth-year senior, and when you get to this point, generally, you're going to be able to operate, and we just need him to be one of the 11 and perform at the position.
Paul, with your your depth at wide receiver, can you tell us a little more about certain things that might allow you to do moving forward?
Well, it just allows us to be more and more wide open if we so choose to be, and the more difficult we become is good blockers on the edge and better route runners and against man coverage and understanding zone concepts and where we need to be. Allows us to maybe stay more wide open, allows us to run the ball on the perimeter more because our blocking improves. And so those things are critical when you start looking at, we have more guys out of the backfield that can get on the perimeter in the run game. So now your receiving blocking at the point of attack has got to become more critical. And so I like the unit. It's really a youthful unit if you look at the whole group. Right now we have 2 players we're going to redshirt that we're extremely high on in Dominique Williams and Ramel Dockery. We're still waiting for his clearance, but those guys will add to this group moving forward. So the weapons are coming, and that's what I think the receivers can do for us.
So Dockery's definitely going to redshirt now if he does become eligible?
Nope, not definitely. But the longer we go before he gets cleared, then the definitely becomes bigger.
Mitchell going home, is he definitely gone for this semester anyway?
The plan is, for him to take some courses and to clean a few things up that we think would really help his case so he could become a full qualifier in January. The plan is that he will be here in January.
Any clarification in Dockery's status as far as a timetable, maybe?
No. NCAA's time status.
Paul, around the Pac-12 last week, there was Oregon played and lost at LSU, but maybe the most interesting defeat was probably Sacramento State upsetting. You came real close last year. Did people just not realize how close FCS schools are to FBS schools?
Well, I think what it tells you is that when you face a veteran football team, even at a lower level, and maybe you're at a higher level and you're not a veteran team, it shows you how important veteran teams are to having success. And it's just the way it is. It's as much as people want to write about, coaches not doing well or this program's good or bad, you better look at the makeup of the successful teams. The successful teams in that particular year have veteran players that have been in a system, know the system, and when they've had that continuity over a period of time, they're going to be a highly productive program. And what you see at Sac State is they've been working and building their program. They're veteran. They anticipated this being their best year. I know they have some talent. I know Oregon State's got some areas they're not real veteran in. And in fact, I told some people, don't be surprised if Sac State wins that game. And those are the primary ingredients when that happens.
I did ask you about the Pac-12, and you're just getting used to saying that. And this last weekend seems to show that there's a good chance next year it could be the Pac-16.
Yeah.
How does that affect you as a coach?
Yeah, it doesn't. Really, we're just still building our program. It's about Cougar football, and to me, we're always growing our program and building it, and that ain't going to change, And if our schedule gets tweaked, it gets tweaked. We play it, and those are things that aren't in our control, And if it changes, we'll adapt like everyone else will have to.
Well, you went back last year and played Oklahoma State. Adding that kind of a program, Oklahoma, Texas, to the Pac-12, it just makes it that much better, doesn't it?
I think it does. I do. I think it does. I think it does add more to the conference, and it really makes people wake up and continue to have to grow their facilities, because when you start looking at the Oklahoma States and those programs back there, they've got big time facilities, and there's a correlation with big time facilities attracting better players and winning more games, right? So that just, if you're going to be if you're going to be in that level and compete, then you need to be able to have those similar facilities.
That's all.
Any other
What do you
questions for
think are
Coach?
some keys for UNLV?
Keys for UNLV. I mean, for us against them, I mean, all I can say is that we need to go out and execute our game plan, play hard, and play Cougar football the way we've been working to do. Do the things we've been working on, and all three phases are critical. We got to go out and play hard, tough-nosed football, and that's what we've been trying to do. We want to continue to be physical, run and play fast, and execute our assignments. And we want to be as physical as we can every opportunity we have that chance.
Any other questions for Coach?
Yeah, Paul, as far as the starters are concerned, going into this week's game against UNLV, and aside from Jeff, obviously, is everybody healthy coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few guys that'll probably play through some aches and pains, but generally speaking, we've been battling the flu, and so that's been a big issue for us right now. We've had a number of players that had either missed yesterday or were sick on Sunday, and still trying to recover. It seems to be a 24-hour flu. It's really kind of hit through campus quite a bit too as well. So to me, that's been the bigger issue outside of the two season-ending injuries with Monroe and Trivian Smith. And so we just got to work through some things. But I anticipate most everybody should be out there that isn't on the injured list.
Okay, and then with Jeff, is the plan for his injury to get re-examined in a couple of weeks, kind of determine what to do from there?
Right. They just want to see after 2 weeks how it's progressed in its healing process and have better information moving forward with any kind of other plan that they want to try to attempt.